Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this sweater here. Here, turn around on the side. This is all one big piece. The neck, the front, and the back, and then it's sewn up here at, I'm out of the light, the sides, the other side too. And then the arms are put on separate. This ribbing is put on separate. It's pretty much one solid piece. You just have to sew up each side like halfway from where the arms begin. So it's pretty easy. So let's go ahead and get started on it. Okay, for this project I am using just a regular Red Heart Super Saver, which is a medium worsted weight 100% or almost 100% 4-ply acrylic. Now I normally wouldn't use Red Heart Super Saver to make an article of clothing, but since it's a sweater I figured that, and you'll probably wear a shirt under it anyways, but this actually isn't too stiff. The one I have is called a Rand Fleck. It's the kind with the flecks in it. And there are 260 yards per skein, and it took me almost all of 5 skeins. So 1,300 yards. If you're gonna do the big X or big 2XL size, I would probably grab another skein because you might need more since the stitches are going to be bigger. So, and for the sizes, I think by just adjusting the needle size, you can make 3 different sizes. So if you use an I, a 5.5 millimeter, that's going to be a size large, man's large. And if you use a J, which is a 6 millimeter, that's going to be good for an extra large. And if you use the big K 6.5, that's going to work good for a extra large or a 2X, because there's plenty of room, leeway. It's a nice loose sweater, so I think that's the ones that you need to adjust with. I'm going to be using the J. I'm going to be making an extra large sweater. But remember, 5.5 size I for a large, J 6 millimeter for the extra large, and the big K 6.5 millimeter is going to do the 2X for a man size. Okay, I already got my big piece done, so I'm going to show you on a smaller scale because it's really easy. You want to start with the chain of 72, and once you get your chain of 72 done, you want to do a double crochet in the 4th stitch from the hook, just like that. And then we're just going to be doing 1 double crochet in every stitch across for the length of your chain. Just like this. And remember, I'm just doing a small scale on it. But when you get to the end of your chain, you should have a total of 70 stitches. And that is counting this little chain here on the end. He's going to count as a stitch. So 70 counting him. And then when you get to the end, what you want to do is chain 1 and turn your work. And now we're going to start by putting 1 double crochet back into this very first stitch right here. And then we're just going to put 1 double crochet in every stitch across until you get to the end of the row. Just like that. And when you make it to the end and you see this little chain thing here at the end, you want to just go into the top of it like it's a double crochet, just like that, and you'll have 70 stitches at the end of this row too. So you just chain 1 and turn, and then you just keep repeating this row. 1 double crochet back into that very first stitch, and then 1 double crochet in every single stitch across until you get to the end of the row. And when you get to the end of the row, you should have 70 stitches. So we're just going to keep repeating rows of double crochet, chaining 1 and turning, and rows of double crochet. At the end of every row, you'll have 70 stitches. And you want to do that for a total of 38 rows. And then when we get to the 38 rows, we'll start to make the neck hole. Okay, once you get your 38 rows done, now we're going to make a spot for the neck hole. So we're just going to chain one and turn our work. And now we're going to put one double crochet in the next 20 stitches. So starting with this first one. So there's one, two, three, 4, 5. Okay, once you get the 20 stitches in a row, now what we're going to do is we're going to do a chain of 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. And now we're going to skip the next 30 stitches. So count 30 and skip them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And then in the next one, skip your 30. The next one, we're going to double crochet. So we're going to keep this long chain of 30 on our hook, and we're just going to yarn over and double crochet into the next one there. Just like that. So now that's kind of going to be the neck hole that we made there. Now we're going to crochet in the remaining stitches, and there should be 20 there, counting this one right here. So just go ahead and put one double crochet in the last stitches here. Okay, once you made it to the end here, what you have is you got your 20 there, and then you skipped 30 and you got that chain of 30, and then you should have 20 on this side too. So now we're going to chain one and turn. And now we're going to put one double crochet in each of these first 20 stitches, starting with the very first one here, until we get to the chain. Okay, once you make it to the chain, I'm going to go ahead and put 30 double crochets along this chain. Since we made a chain of 30 and we skipped 30, we're going to go ahead and make up for it by putting 30 double crochets. You can put one in each stitch if you want, or I'm just going to do 30. I just kind of go right around the chain like that. That's what I usually do. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, once you get your 30 stitches along the chain, you can kind of take them and spread them out here a little bit, just to kind of make them go along your chain all the way. But they'll get in place the more rows you put on them. See, mine didn't go all the way to the end, so just gonna spread them a little bit. Okay, and then you just, right here, these last 20 stitches, you just want to go ahead and put one double crochet into the last 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, once you make it to the end, you should have 70 stitches again. We got the 20, and then we did 30 along the chain, and then we had 20 here on this side. So it's 20, and then the 30 of the chain, and then 20. And now we got a neck hole here that we made. And now basically what we're gonna do is the same thing we did over here. We need to do 38 rows of 1 double crochet in every stitch, keeping 70 stitches in each row. This right here, this last row that we did, counts as row number 1. So we just chain 1 and turn just like we normally do, and work 1 double crochet in every stitch. And we need to do 38 rows on this side. This would be like the back of the sweater. So we did lay it out here a little bit better. We did 38 rows up to here, and then we did that 1 row that was the neck row that just had the 20 on this side, the chain, and then the 20. And then we did this row, which counts as number 1 of the next 38 rows we have to do. So this is number 1 here, and we need a total of 38 on this side. So when you're finished, there'll be 38 on this side and 38 rows on this side, and then there'll be that 1 row right here that just has the 20 stitches on each side of the neck hole. So if that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and keep working, starting putting just 1 double crochet in every stitch, just like we did on the other side, for a total of 38 rows now on the back side of the sweater. Okay, once you get your 38 rows done on the back side, you'll have a total of 77 rows now. Try to lay this out. I ain't got much space, but you got the 38 rows you did on the back, and then you got that 1 row here for the neck, and then the 38 rows you did for the front. So if you count from this side all the way up, you'll have 77. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down each side with a row of single crochet, that way before we sew it together. That way it'll be easier to sew together. So I'm just going to pick up where I left off. And I'm going to start working down the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chain 1. Now that chain 1 isn't going to count as anything. And I'm going to put 2 single crochets for every double crochet that's along the side. So this double crochet here, I'm just going to kind of go in it like that, and then in it again. I'm kind of just grabbing the side of it a little bit. And now the next double crochet, I'm going to go in it once, and then kind of through it again like that. And then the next double crochet, like that. So you can see here's 1, 2, 3 rows of double crochet, and I've done 6 single crochets. So I'm doing 2 single crochets for every double. Just kind of do your best to evenly space them out. And when you get down to the bottom, you should have a total of 154 single crochets, because you had 77 rows along the side, and you're putting 2 singles for every double, so you should have 154. See, I'm not getting it perfect. I'm just doing the best I can here. It's hard to tell sometimes. Just look at the row. That's what I do. Here's my row, and I know I got to put 2 single crochets wherever they'll fit. And then the next row I look right here, so I can put one here in this opening, and then I'll need another one here. So just go ahead and get your 154 single crochets down this side. Okay, once you make it all the way down and you have 154 single crochets, just clip your yarn and tie that off. And now we're going to do the same on the other side. But when you do the other side, you want to start from the bottom and work your way up to the top. That way both the stitches, both the rows of single crochet stitches are facing right side up. So I'm going to do the same thing. Now, get this big old sweater in front of the camera here. And I'm going to start at the bottom, just in this double crochet here. And I'm going to chain one. Now I'm going to go back in that same spot that I started in and single crochet. And now I'm going to work again two single crochets, to every double crochet up the other side. And I still should have 154 stitches on this side when I get back to the top. So just do your best to kind of evenly space them out. They don't have to be perfect. It's just going to make it easier to sew it together if there's single crochets on the side instead of just these doubles. So I'm going to go ahead and work my way to the top, and when you get up there you can go ahead and clip your yarn off just like we did on the other side. Okay, now we're going to mark off where we're going to sew it together for the sleeves. I'm going to mark off the sleeves and then where we're going to sew it. So put your piece kind of flat, fold it in half so the neck goes at the top here. Okay, what you want to do is you want to start from the bottom on one side, and you want to count up 46 stitches and put a marker. And then you want to do the same 46 stitches and put a marker. So I went ahead and tied it together with my marker like that. So there's 46 stitches up on both these pieces, and then I put them together with a marker. And then, so right here will be our sleeve opening, and we'll work with that later. But now you want to do the same on both sides, 46 stitches up, and put the marker in the 46 stitch on both pieces. And then when you get that done, we're just going to slip stitch it together. And both sides are done the same. So I'm going to start in the stitch that has the marker. So the 46 stitch on both pieces here. So I'm just going to go right into that piece and chain one, pull it kind of tight. Now I'm going to go to the next stitch, and then the next stitch on the opposite piece, and slip stitch, and then the next stitch, and then the next stitch back here on this back piece, and slip stitch, the next stitch here, the next stitch on the back piece, and slip stitch. And this is how I'm gonna sew the sides together. And if you prefer using a yarn needle, you can do that too. It'll work the same. This piece, and make sure you're going into the very next stitch on the back piece too. That way when you get to the bottom, it ends the same. And you do that all the way down. And when you get all the way down, I already did it on the other side, it will look, you can take your marker out or you can leave it. It's completely up to you. I'll probably leave it for now until I get back to the sleeves, but it looks like this. And then you just clip it off and you do the other side. Now, if you like the seam looking like this, you can leave it. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it the other way, and then the seam will look like this on the other side. It won't stick out quite as much. So I'm going to go ahead and finish sewing up both of my sides. So I got that one sewed, and I'm going to finish slip stitching up this one, and then I'm going to put some decreasing on the bottom and some ribbon. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, getting my sides sewed up and my sleeve holes made, because here's my sleeves holes. Okay, I went ahead and flipped mine inside out, and now I just take it and I kind of just push on it from the inside, and that pushes that seam out a little bit. Now remember, you could have left the seam the other way, but I thought that looked a little better like this, but it's really your preference. Okay, now we're going to start on the bottom. So I'm going to flip my work to where the bottom is facing me. I'm going to go around it with a row of double crochet. Got all these tails here. Okay. You can see we want to put 1 double crochet in every stitch around, and then on this each seam we're going to put 2 double crochets. So we had 70 on this side and 70 on this side, and then we'll put 2 on this seam and 2 on the other seam for a total of 144 double crochets when we make it around. So what you want to do is just start. I'm just going to start not at the seam, I'm just going to start in the first stitch. And I'm going to chain 1. Now I'm going to go ahead and put 1 double crochet back into that stitch. And I'm going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch till I make it over to the seam. Oops. And when you make it over to the seam, you should have 70 double crochets. So I'm going to work over there until I get to my first seam. Just like that. I haven't worked in this seam yet. I just started here in the very first double crochet. So go ahead and work all the way across until you get to the first seam. Okay, when you make it down here to the seam, I've done from that side to this side 69 stitches, and I need 70. My 70th one is going to be right here, that the row that we attached that single crochet to. So you want to go kind of like in the top there of that stitch. So that's my 70. And now we're going to put 2 along the seam area, so just kind of evenly space out 2. So I'll just put 1 right about here, and then just kind of look 1 right about here. So there's 2 for that seam. And now we're going to start with our first double crochet on the opposite side, working 1 double crochet in every stitch. Again, you should have 70 on this side too, just like this. So we did the 70 across this side, and then we kind of just evenly spaced out 2 along the seam. And now we're going to work 70 across the other side. Okay, once you made the 70 across on the other side, you just want to evenly space out 2 right here in this last seam. So just kind of space out 2. And then we're going to slip stitch into our first double crochet. So you should have a total of 144 stitches now. It was 70 across the front side, 70 across the back side, and then we evenly spaced out 2 in each of the seams. So it should be 144. Now I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. This thing is so big. Okay. Okay, now we're going to do decreases. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 double crochet in the first 4 stitches. So I'm going to go right back into that same stitch and put a double crochet. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and now I'm going to do a decrease over the next 2. So I'm going to yarn over, go into the next stitch and draw up a loop, and I'm going to yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on my hook, and then I'm going to yarn over and go into the next stitch drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on my hook, and then yarn over and go through all 3. So that was a double crochet decrease that took 2 stitches and made it into 1. Now I'm going to put 1 double crochet in the next 4 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm going to do a double crochet decrease over the next 2. So I'm going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, yarn over, go into the next stitch, drop a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, and then I'm going to yarn over and go through all 3 loops on my hook. That's a double crochet decrease. And now I'm going to kind of repeat this pattern all the way around. So 1 double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now I'm going to do a decrease over the next 2, yarn over, go into the next stitch, drop a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops on my hook, yarn over and go into the next stitch, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops, and then yarn over and go through all 3. And I'm going to repeat this all the way around until I get back to the beginning. 1 double crochet into the next 4 stitches, and then a double crochet decrease. 1 double crochet into the next 4, and then a double crochet decrease. Okay, when you make it back around after that row of decreases, you should have ended in a decrease, and you should have 120 stitches now. And now what you want to do is slip stitch into your first, double crochet, chain 1, turn your work, I feel like I'm wrestling it down. Now what we're going to do is put 1 double crochet back into that same stitch, and we're going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch around. Just no more decreasing now. 1 double every stitch until you get back to the beginning, and when you get back around you still should have 120 stitches. Okay, when you make it back around after that row of double crochet and you have 120 stitches, you want to go ahead and slip stitch into your first double crochet. Now we're going to do the ribbing around the bottom. Now this is what you want to do. If your work is facing backwards, you want to chain 1 and turn to where your work is facing upright. If it's already facing upright, just chain 1 and don't turn, because it could be facing different ways depending on how you put the seam and depending on which way you folded it. It's no big deal if it's not facing the same way mine was, just as long as right now the right side of your work is facing you like this. So if it was backwards like mine, I chained 1 and I turned, and now it's right side up. If it was already right side up, just chain 1 and don't turn. So now what we're going to do, remember, it's no big deal either way. It all just depended on how you had it folded at the beginning and stuff. So you just got your chain 1. Now we're going to go right back into that same spot and we're going to do a double crochet. And now I'm going to do a front post double crochet around the next stitch. So I'm going to yarn over and go right around the post of the stitch like that and double crochet. Now I'm going to do a back post double crochet around the next stitch. So I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to go at the stitch from the behind of it like that, and then around back to the back. Now the post is on the back of my hook, and then I'm going to double crochet, and I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to do a front post double crochet around the next stitch. So I'm going to yarn over and go right around the post, so the post is on the front of my hook, and then I kind of grab it together, that way it's easier for me to hold, and then I'm just going to double crochet. Now I'm going to do a back post double. So I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to go from the back of the stitch around the post and then to the back again, and you can see that the post is on the back of my hook. So I'm going to yarn over here and do my double crochet, and now I'm going to do a front post double crochet around the next, and then a back post double crochet. And then a front post. And then a back post. And I'm going to repeat this all the way around until I get back to the beginning. And you should have 120 stitches still when you get back around. Front post, double crochet, and then a back post double crochet. Front post double crochet, and then the back post. And you can see that it's starting to make ribs on it. The more rows you do, the more better you'll see the ribs. So I'm going to continue this pattern until I get back to the beginning. Okay, when you make it back around to the beginning, you should have ended in front post double crochet. Go ahead and slip stitch into your first double crochet. Now I'm going to repeat that row again. So I'm going to chain one, double crochet back into the same stitch. So I'm going to front post double crochet around the first stitch here, and then I'm going to back post double crochet around the next. It's actually the back post from the previous row. So just like that. So what we're doing is we're just keeping the front post and the back post aligned up. Front post double crochet, and then back post double crochet. Like that. Front post double crochet, and back post double crochet. So just like we did before, and I'm going to repeat that all the way around, and you still should have 120 stitches when you get back around. Okay, once you make it back around, after that last row, you just want to slip stitch into your first double crochet again, and you want to repeat that row or that round 3 more times for a total of 5 rounds of the ribs. And I already did that, and you can see ribs probably 2.5 inches long or something like that. You can do less if you want, but I did 5. And once you get that finished, you once you get your 5 rounds finished, chain 1, and then we're going to do a row of single crochet to finish the bottom out. So go back into that same stitch and single crochet, and now it's just 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around the entire sweater on the bottom, and this will make it look a little bit more finished. And when you get back around, you still should have 120 stitches, just like that. And when you make it all the way around, you just want to end with a slip stitch into your first single crochet and tie it off and hide them tails, and then we'll start on the sleeves. Okay, now we're going to work on the sleeve. I have already finished one of them, and both sleeves are going to be worked exactly the same. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to come up here to where we crocheted our slit together, and I still have my stitch marker here in place. If you don't, that's fine. Just where you crocheted it together, if you can look and see, here's where it's been crocheted together with this stitch and this stitch. We're going to go into each of these stitches. Even though we crocheted it together before, we're going to go into them separately now. So I'm going to start my yarn. I'm going to start it into this one, and I'm going to work around, and then I'll end it into this spot right here. So I'm going to go ahead and start in this spot right here. And I'm going to start with a chain 1. And now I'm going to go right back into that same stitch, and I'm going to do a double crochet. And now I'm going to work 1 double crochet in every single stitch all the way around my sleeve. 1 double crochet all the way around here, this sleeve, until we get right over here to this stitch. Just like that. And when you make it all the way around and you go into this last stitch here, you should have a total of 64 stitches. Okay, I've made it around and I got 63 stitches. This will be my 64th stitch. This stitch right here that is connected with that slip stitch. Just like that. And that makes 64. Now we're going to slip stitch into the first double crochet, and then we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work. We're going to be turning every row now, so it's back and forth rows like we did on the beginning, so it matches. So we're just going to turn our work. Now I'm going to do a row of decreases. So I'm going to go right back into this same stitch, and I'm going to do a double crochet like that. What I want to do is 6 double crochets in a row, and then I'm going to do a double crochet decrease. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now I'm going to do a decrease over the next 2 stitches. So I'm going to yarn over and go into the next stitch and draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, then I'm going to yarn over and go into the next stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, and then yarn over and go through all 3. So that's my double crochet decrease. It took those 2 stitches and made it into 1. Now I'm going to put 1 double crochet again into the next 6 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now I'm going to do a double crochet decrease again over the next 2. Just like that. And now I'm going to put 1 double crochet into the next 6 stitches, and then I'll do the double crochet decrease. And I'm just going to repeat this pattern all the way back around to the beginning. Okay, when you make it back around, you should have 2 stitches left for a decrease. So you should end in a decrease, and you should have 56 stitches at the end of this row. So what you want to do is go ahead and slip stitch into your first stitch like that, chain 1, and turn your work. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch. So you want to go right back into that same stitch and double crochet. And now I'm going to work 1 double, oops, in every stitch all the way around. And when I get back around, I should have 56 stitches still. Okay, when you make it back around and you have your 56 stitches, what you want to do is slip stitch into your first double crochet, chain one, and turn your work. Now we're just going to repeat that row. We want to have a total of 5 rows of 1 double crochet in every stitch. So this was number 1 that we did. Okay, the decrease was the last row. So this is the first row right here that we did 1 double crochet in every stitch, and we want to have a total of 5. So I'm going to do 4 more rows, or rounds, or whatever you call it, of 1 double crochet in every stitch, chaining and turning at the end of each round, and there should be 56 stitches in every round. So 5 rows total. This is my second one that I'm working on. So I'm going to go ahead and finish them up. Okay, after you've done the 5 rows of 1 double crochet in every stitch, totaling 56 stitches at the end of each round, now when you look at the sleeve, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we did the 5, and then we had the decrease row, and then we had the very first row. So that's where we're at right now. And now we're going to do another decrease row. So I just slip stitched there when I ended that last round. So I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to turn my work. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a double crochet right back here into this same stitch over here. And now this time I'm going to put 5 double crochets in a row, and then I'm going to do my double crochet decrease. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now my next one is the double crochet decrease over these next 2 stitches. So I'm going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, and draw up a loop. Yarn over and go through the first 2, yarn over and go into the next stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, and yarn over and go through all 3. Now it's 1 double crochet into the next 5 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then the double crochet decrease again over the next 2 stitches. Like that. And that's the repeat this time around. 1 double crochet in the next 5, and then the double crochet decrease, double crochet in the next 5, and then the double crochet decrease until you get back around to the beginning. And when you get back around, you should have a total of 48 stitches this time around. Okay, once you make it back around, after that row of decreases and you have your 48 stitches, you just want to slip stitch into your first double crochet, and then you chain 1 and turn your work. And now we're going to work 1 double crochet right back here into this same stitch. And now it's 1 double crochet in every stitch all the way around again. This time we're going to do 3 rounds of 1 double crochet in every stitch. So 3 rounds of 1, this is our first one, 3 total of 1 double crochet in every stitch, chain 1 and turning at the end of every round, and at the end of every round there should be a total of 48 stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and get my 3 rounds done of the 1 double in every stitch with 48 stitches at the end of every round. Okay, now once you got your 3 rows of the 1 double crochet in every stitch, spread this out, and you should have from the beginning of the sleeve 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rows now. And now we're going to do another row of decreases. we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Gotta get this all situated. Taking my whole desk up. Okay, you want to go ahead and put 1 double crochet back into the same stitch. Now this time it's going to be 4 double crochets in a row and then the decrease. So that counts as number 1, 2, 3, 4, and now the decrease over the next 2 stitches, like that. And then 1 double crochet into the next 4 stitches again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the double crochet decrease. And we're going to repeat this all the way around until we get back to the beginning. 4 double crochets in a row and then the double crochet decrease. And when you get back around to the beginning, you should have a total of 40 stitches. Okay, when you make it back around after that row of decreases, you just slip stitch into your first I'm supposed to be this way. Slip stitch into your first double crochet, chain 1 and turn, and you should have 40 stitches now. And now what we're going to do is chain 1, go back into that same stitch, double crochet, and now we're going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch around. So this is the bulk of the sleeve right here, the 40 stitches. Okay, and you want to do this for a total of 12 rounds. This is number 1. So 12 rounds of the 1 double crochet in every stitch and 40 total stitches at the end of each round. Okay, once you get those 12 rounds of the 1 double crochet in every stitch, working with the 40 stitches per round, you should have a total from the very first row that we did all the way down 24 rounds now. So now we're going to do another row of increases. So you just want to, or decreases, I'm sorry. So now you just want to chain 1 and turn your work. Now we're going to put 1 double crochet back into the very same stitch. And this time we're going to put 3 double crochets in a row, and then we'll do our double crochet decrease. So this counts as 1, 2, and 3, and then double crochet decrease over the next 2 stitches, like that. And that's the repeat. 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, and then double crochet decrease over the next 2. So you want to repeat that 3 in a row and then the decrease, 3 in a row and then the decrease, all the way around. And when you get back around, you should have a total of 32 stitches at the end of this round. Okay, once you make it back around and you have 32 stitches, should have ended in a decrease, go ahead and slip stitch into your first double crochet, chain 1, and turn your work. Now we're just gonna do, oh my gosh, sorry. Okay, now we're just gonna do a 1 round of 1 double crochet in every stitch. So we're gonna go ahead and put a double crochet right back into that first stitch, and then I'm gonna work 1 double crochet in every stitch around for just this 1 row. And when I get back around, I should have 32 stitches still. Okay, when you make it back around and you got your 32 stitches, slip stitch into the first double crochet, chain 1 and turn. Now you should have a total on your whole sleeve of 26 rounds. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 22, 26. So now we're going to start the ribbing. We're going to do it just like we did at the bottom of the of the sweater. So we're gonna go ahead and we chained one and we turned. Now we're gonna go ahead and put, oh, my hands are so, I've been working on this sweater since 9 o'clock this morning, and it's now 8 o'clock at night, and my hands are just like, oh, jello. But this is the last part I have to do other than the neck, so I'm getting pretty close. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish it. Okay, you want to put 1 double crochet back into that same stitch, and now we're going to do the front post double crochet, back post double crochet, repeat. So we're going to go around and front post double crochet, and then back post double crochet, front post double crochet, and then the back post double crochet, just like we did around the bottom. The same thing. So we want to repeat this all the way around until we get back to the beginning. Okay, when you make it back around, you just want to slip stitch into your first double crochet. We're not going to be turning anymore. Now we're just going to repeat that row again. We're going to chain 1 and double crochet back into the same stitch, and then we're going to do the front post into the next stitch, or around the next stitch, and then the back post around the next, and then the front post, and then the back post. And we're going to repeat that all the way around until we get back to the beginning. And I got a knot here, and we want to do that for a total of 5 rounds. We did 1, we're working on our second, so we want to do a total of 5 rounds of the ribbing, and we're on number 2. Okay, once you got your 5 rows of ribbing done, we're going to do one last thing on the sleeve. I went ahead and slip stitched right there into my first double crochet, and I'm going to chain 1, and now I'm going to go right back into that same stitch, single crochet, and I'm going to put 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around, and that will finish the sleeve. When you get back around, all you want to do is slip stitch into that first single crochet, not the chain 1, but the first single crochet, and tie off. And you should have 32 stitches when you make it back around. If you don't worry about it, because it's going to be close enough. But go ahead and slip stitch when you get back around into the first single and tie off, tie that tail, and then we'll get started on the neck. Okay, now I'm going to work around the neck area up here, and you can start on either side of the neck. Okay, I'll show you when we pull it apart. You can see here's that row of double crochet right here. Let's start in the stitch right next to it. Here's the double crochet. Start in the stitch right next to it. What we're going to do is chain 1. We're going to go back into that same stitch and single crochet, and then I'm going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch around the top here, all across the front, until I get over here to this next little double crochet row area. So 1 stitch all the way across the front here, 1 single crochet in every stitch, just like that. Okay, when I make it over here to that split here, there's that double crochet before we started doing the other side. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put one, kind of go right through it, and put one single crochet in it. Just one. Like that. And now this stitch right here needs a single crochet. And now right here was the chain that we made, and we put the double crochets over the chain. I'm going to put one double crochet, or one single crochet, I'm sorry, in between each of the stitches. So I kind of just move them over a little bit. Single crochet. One single in between each of the stitches. I'm going to spread them apart. Single crochet. Go to your next one, spread it apart a little bit. Single crochet in between. Spread the next one apart. Single crochet. And just keep sliding up the stitch over and single crochet right in between each of these doubles, right around the chain. See, I'm pulling one apart, and then I single crochet right around the chain, and then I move my next one over and go right around the chain. Oh, sorry, right around the chain. My next one over, and I'm going to do this all the way across here. All the way across until I get over to here, to this little double, here's where we started, to this little double crochet row. Okay, I made it over here. Here's where we started. Here's that double crochet, and I went, here was the last one, double crochet on the chain. I single crocheted right here in the space, and then I'm going to single crochet right here in this little spot. And then I'm just going to put one single crochet right through, somewhere right through this double crochet, just kind of in anywhere that you can get it. Okay, now you want to slip stitch into the first single crochet. Okay, now what we're going to do is chain one, and we're going to go right back into the same stitch and double crochet. So I'm going to put 5 double crochets in a row. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there's 5 double crochets in a row. Now I'm going to do 3 half double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. So I did 5 doubles, 3 half doubles, and now we're going to put 1 single crochet into the next 18 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now we're going to put 1 half double crochet into the next 3 half doubles. There's 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to put 1 double crochet into the next 10, which is kind of working around the corner here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and now we're going to work 1 half double crochet into the next 3 half doubles. 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 17 this time. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and here's 17. And now we're going to put 3 half double in a row, half doubles. 1, 2, 3, and then there should be 5 left, and those should be for double crochets. So 1 double in the last 5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then you want to slip stitch right here in your top of your first double crochet, like that. And now let's chain 1, go back into the same stitch with the single crochet, and let's just go around it one more time with 1 single crochet in every stitch until you get back all the way around. So 1 single crochet in every stitch until you get back to the beginning. When you get back to the beginning, just slip stitch into your first single crochet and tie that off. Okay, once you get the neck finished, that is it. That is all there is to it. I hope you were able to follow along okay. I'm sorry I don't have much of a desk here, so you can't really see it, but I'll put a picture up in the front of the video. Make sure you hide all your tails. I don't feel bad about saying this, but because I'm glad I'm done with this. It took me quite a while, but I got it finished. And if you make this or anything else, I'd really like to see a picture of it. You can post a picture on my Bagoday Crochet Facebook page. I'll put a link to that below in the description box. And don't forget to check me out on Etsy, Pinterest, Twitter. I'll put links to all that stuff below. And until next time, have a good day.